Right now, the collective bargaining law that sparked massive protests and led to Governor Scott Walker's recall election is upheld by the state Supreme Court. The state Supreme Court upheld Act 10 today.
The 5-2 decision is a major victory for Governor Scott Walker.
Jonah Kaplan talked to the governor today.
Scott Walker seemed to take the stage today at opening ceremonies with an extra wide smile. Yes, he admitted he loves fair food, but he also celebrated two major decisions handed down this morning from the state Supreme Court.
I think this is an affirmation that what we did is legal, that it's constitutional, and I hope it's one of those that's kind of a move-on point. People realize that that can no longer be challenged, at least in the state court.
Walker hailed the 5-2 vote, upholding Act 10, which was his signature legislation. Act 10 limits collective bargaining powers of state employees. The governor credits the law for lowering taxes, something he thinks will matter to voters.
Not only for our base, but for independent-minded voters, we're looking to look at the facts and make an objective decision. This affirms a clear difference in this race. We will allow Act 10 to go forward.
Plenty of other people here at the fair shared their opinions, including someone else who sat up on this stage during the opening ceremonies, Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett. The mayor called the Act 10 decision disappointing, but not surprising.
Obviously, I don't support the wide range of Act 10 and taking away people's right to organize. So I'm disappointed in that part of it. But again, I'm not surprised given the makeup of the court.
The court today also ruled in favor of a law requiring voters to show a photo ID at the polls. The governor and mayor disagree on that too, but they each recognized that legal fight won't end soon.
We think it's a common sense reform. I have, like most people in this state, it's not much to get one of these. In fact, we even offer it for free.
This isn't the end of voter ID. Obviously, that's going to be decided ultimately in the federal courts.
At the Wisconsin State Fair, Jonah Kaplan, today's TMJ4.
We also have reaction from Democratic candidate Mary Burke.
I would work to restore collective bargaining. There is a lot that goes into Act 10, but I've said that it is only fair to ask for contributions to health care and to pensions.
Marquette Associate Law Professor Paul Secunda joins us live in the newsroom.
Thanks for being with us, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
So what does today's Supreme Court ruling mean?
It probably means the end of Act 10 litigation for the time being, and maybe the next phase concerning whether this law will be expanded to police and firefighter unions, and whether or not there will be additional legislation concerning private sector unions, so-called right-to-work legislation.
It's been a long fight, but as you said, it seems that the litigation part of it seems to be over.
I believe so. I think it's going to move on to see whether we're going to expand this law to additional public employees and whether it will have a ripple effect in the private sector as well, as far as making it more difficult for individuals to join unions.
The justices split 5-2 on this vote. What, if anything, do you take away from that split vote?
Well, I think that they had very different views about what the case was about. The majority believed it was about the right to collective bargain. The dissenting justices believed it was about a right to organize. The right to collective bargaining is not constitutionally enshrined, so it was easy to find that Act 10 did not violate the law. On the other hand, the right to organize is something that is constitutionally protected, and many of the provisions in Act 10 did burden the right to organize. So there was different focuses taken by the justices, which basically broke down on normal partisan grounds.
Professor Paul Secunda, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And the state Supreme Court also upheld the voter ID law. However, that law does remain blocked in federal court, so today's ruling really doesn't have any immediate impact on elections. So stay tuned for further developments there. One other note, justices also upheld a 2009 law creating a domestic partner registry. That registry provides limited benefits to same-sex couples. However, once again, today's ruling is likely to be overshadowed by a pending gay marriage case. You may recall a federal judge recently declared Wisconsin's ban on gay marriage unconstitutional. However, her ruling is being appealed to a federal appeals court in Chicago.